Hi there, my name is Jared Mello, and this is an episode of Mello Mentoring. Thanks to everyone who's been liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing my content. It's been great to have you. Normally make videos about practicing radical self-respect, and then in the form of relationships with friends, family, significant other. And we also go into mental health, other self-improvement, and I had my interview series, Everything Eccentric. And my audiobook is right around the corner. I'm doing the finishing touches on the last 2 sections to make them Audible ready. So I can't wait to get that out to you guys too. But also I have a request. I would like people to email me questions they have about their lives so I can answer them through the radical self-respect lens. Because I'd like to give real-life examples of how to practice radical self-respect. And with the emailer's permission, of course, I would love them to send me their life's issue, and I would tell them what I would do if I were to practice radical self-respect in that situation. Now, it's not always easy to practice radical self-respect, especially if we're not used to it. Especially if we're not good at having boundaries and we're not good at being assertive and practicing radical self-respect in the past. The answers may not be obvious, but as we do this, I think the answers will become more and more obvious, and it'll be a valuable learning experience for everyone. And so if you'd like, email me any questions, and I'll answer them anonymously, of course, and we'll work through it. And I'll show people what I believe is the radical self-respect way. But on to today's video, which is the sneakiest behavior that can be toxic. And it is really sneaky, and only the sneakiest of folks are able to do it. But the behavior is helping others. Let me explain. In a lot of scenarios in my life, there's been a person who has abused me or disrespected me, but then they wanted to get back in my good graces by helping me. And so I generally have a rule, which is I don't accept favors from people that have abused me because it sets ourselves up for failure. And I've learned this the hard way, of course, like I've learned everything. But this is the reason why it's sneaky, because when a toxic type person, someone with a personality disorder, or just otherwise displays toxic behaviors, when they try to help people, they subconsciously, or maybe even consciously, they are using it as a tally system where they think you owe them if they help you, right? And they kind of keep score in their heads. And they're not giving without the expectation of something in return. Those are the only scenarios where we should allow people to help us, when they're not expecting anything in return. But someone who does this, that is expecting something in return, it's something to watch out for. And so what will happen is the person will help you, but it comes at a price. Maybe the price is they think they can disrespect you in other ways. Maybe the price is they think that they can talk to you however they want without having to respect your boundaries. Or maybe the price is you better help them at another time when they want it. So either way, if you accept help from these kinds of people and you allow them to give you a favor, you will be indebted to them. And that's how they're going to see it. And I just don't think that that's the right way to go. So I do not allow myself to be helped anymore by people that have disrespected me in the past or are going to be using it as a tally system. Now, granted, this is something I've had to learn more recently, and I've noticed it's a behavior that a lot of people who are a little more on the toxic side, it's what they do. It's how they try to sneak back into your life. And then, again, they sneak back in your life, and more often than not, if they disrespected your boundaries before because it's in their nature to do so, their nature isn't going to change. And so, this is why I'm realizing also, most people don't deserve second chances. Why? Because if someone's nature is to be disrespectful, they're not going to have enough respect for you to be watching their own natures and acting completely differently than they would normally act with just you. They're going to disrespect you again, more likely than not. Now, there are some people who have the self-awareness so that if they cross someone's boundaries, they will actually check themselves and they won't do it again because maybe it's just a harmless mistake. But they have the self-awareness to know, okay, this person has this boundary, so I won't go there. But other people who maybe don't have as much self-awareness, it's their nature to be toxic. It's their nature to disrespect. And in those cases, you can call them out and give them a chance to respect your boundary. But if it's their nature to be that way, it's just going to be a matter of time before they disrespect you again. Because it's their nature. They can't help themselves, and it takes a lot of work for them to really check themselves with you. They want to be who they are. And preferably what they want is for people to accept their disrespect. But if we're practicing radical self-respect, of course we can't allow that to happen. So this is why it's important to notice people's natures. What is their natural mode of being? What is their most comfortable way of being? And if it happens to be a toxic mode of being, then that's someone that I don't even think they should get a second chance anymore, because it's just going to be more work for us, and it's going to be mentally exhausting to be around those kinds of people. And again, one of the sneakiest things these kinds of people will do is they'll want to help you. They'll want to give you a favor, but it's really just so that you'll be indebted to them. And they're going to try to use that against you later. Oh, I did this for you, so you should do this. I did this for you, so I should be able to treat you however I want. Don't fall for that. The only kinds of favors we should be accepting are favors that are done without the expectation of anything in return. And I get it. I do agree with the karma side of things where I'll help people, and I have noticed that the universe does often find a way to kind of compensate me for the good things that I've done. But I don't have a attachment to how the universe repays me, right? I just have noticed that it often does. But I don't expect it to be directly with the person I did something nice for. Now that's what the toxic folks will do. They'll expect that favor to be given directly back to the person they helped. Or they'll use it against you. They'll say that you're in debt to them now, and they'll try to guilt you later into doing things for them because they helped you. So rather than deal with all that, just don't deal. Just don't even accept the favors to begin with from a person like this. Now, you may not know they're like this, though, until it's too late, but that's why it's important to pay attention. It's important to pay attention. Who are they? What kind of people are they when no one's looking? When their mask comes off, what's underneath their mask? What are they really like? What is their nature? And that's the big realization I'm coming to, is that people's nature says so much about them. And people, they're not going to be able to change their nature for us just because we've tried to assert a boundary. They're not going to have the self-awareness to stop their natures. They're just not. And so those types of people just do not deserve a second chance, because they will constantly disrespect you again. They'll feel like they can treat you any way they want to, and it's just going to be exhausting and a headache. So that's my video for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video. Have you had similar experiences as me with this sneaky behavior, which is helping people to get one over on them later? Have you had that happen too? Please let me know if you have, and thank you very much for watching.